Hey everybody, welcome to the Weekly Walk. I'm here in Nairobi, Kenya. I'll tell you why in just a minute. But I have a question for you. Have you ever wished that you could change your name? I mean, really, if you could just pick a different name, one that sounded stronger, more impressive, more meaningful. If you could, what would you choose? Or maybe the deeper question is this. Have you ever wished you could change what your name represents? Because names aren't just labels. No, names carry stories. Names carry identity. Names carry expectations. And for many of us, the name that we live under isn't even the one on our birth certificate. It's the name that the world has given to us. Some of us live under the name of failure, or not enough, or too much, or abused, or forgotten, or rejected, or unworthy. So here's the question. Who gets to name you? I was thinking about my own name, Dale, which I've never really liked. I remember asking my parents once, why did you name me Dale? My dad immediately said, well, it wasn't the name that I would have chosen. So, of course, I turned to my mom and I asked her, okay, Mom, why did you choose Dale? And I'll never forget her response, oh, because I like the sound of it. And I remember thinking, that's it? That's why you named me Dale? That's what my name is built on? Just the sound of it? I mean, the name of Dale in the dictionary means valley. It's kind of depressing. Well, listen, if our identity is built only on what people think, what culture says, or even what family assigns, then it's kind of fragile, isn't it? But then Jesus shows up in John chapter 1. He meets a man whose name was Simon. Now, Simon is brought to Jesus by his brother Andrew, who we've already met in John 1. And John tells us something striking. Jesus looks at him, not casually, not quickly, but intently. And then Jesus says, your name is Simon, son of John, but you will be called Cephas. You can check that out, John chapter 1, verse 42. Now pause here with me for a minute. Simon didn't ask for a new name. Jesus didn't take a vote. Jesus didn't say, let's see what fits your personality. Take this test. Figure out who you really are. No, Jesus simply speaks, this is who you are. And this is who you will become. Simon to Peter. Now, the name Simon is not a bad name. The meaning it carries is one who hears, a listener, a responder. That's not bad, be named Simon. But Jesus gives him a new name, Peter, Petros, which means rock or one who is stable, one who is strong, a foundation. And that's what Jesus sees in Peter. But here's what matters. At that moment, Simon was not a rock. You know anything about his life? He was impulsive. He was unsteady. He would later fail Jesus. In fact, he would deny Jesus. And yet Jesus names him not by what he is, but by what Jesus intends to make him. And that's the gospel. Jesus doesn't define you by your weaknesses. Thank God for that. Jesus defines you by his grace. Thank God for that. Identity is not self-made. We live in a world that's obsessed with self-definition. We hear things like, find yourself, be true to yourself, create your identity. But Jesus offers something far better. He says, receive your identity, because you were never meant to discover who you are by looking inward or by listening to the voices that are around you. You're meant to discover who you are by looking at the one who made you. The world will shape you by performance, but Jesus shapes us by his presence. Jesus sees the real you. Jesus sees you and me the same way. Not just who we are in the moment, but who we can become in a lifetime. That's exactly right. Jesus looks at Simon and he sees Peter. Jesus, he looks at broken people like me, maybe you, and he sees future leaders. Jesus looks at sinners, and he sees saints. Jesus looks at you, and he sees who you truly are in him. So let me ask you, what name are you living under today? Is it something someone spoke over you long ago? Is it something that maybe you've been carrying since childhood? Is it something the world keeps reinforcing? Because when Jesus speaks, he doesn't just rename Simon, he renames all of us. The scriptures tell us that we are beloved, chosen. It says in John 17, it says, we belong to him. And he says about us, you're mine. Calls us forgiven, a new creation, a child of God. So your truest name is not what you've done. Your truest name is not what others say about you. Your truest name is not even what you feel. Your truest name is what Jesus declares. So here's a simple practice for you. Take a moment, ask yourself, who am I really? And then listen, not to the world, but to Jesus. Because when Jesus calls you, he's not describing who you were. It's describing who he can shape you to be. And that peace of mind and peace of heart that comes from him discovering who we are, helping us discover who we are and who we are meant to be. Wow. It's beyond my ability to define. Because only you can know that peace. By knowing that you belong to God. You're his creation, made in his image. So what am I doing here in Nairobi? I'm here training a group of men and women and reminding them that they find their identity not in what people have said about them, but in the love of God. I want them to know that God loves them, gave his life for them. And that by knowing we are loved by God, guess what? We can turn around and we can project that love toward others. It gives us immense security to know that I belong to God, to know that he died for me, and to know that he's coming back for me, and to know that if I died today, I go to be with him. So live your identity. Discover your identity. And I'll see you on the next walk. From Timeless Netiv, the Netiv Olam, the eternal pathway, from Nairobi, Kenya. I want you to know that God loves you today.